I was speaking to someone today about how fortunate we are that even though we are in lockdown and even though we have so many struggles, yet the core of what a Jewish community is about is still very vibrant. Torah, Avodah, and Gemilas Chasodim. To learn Torah, we've got so much time and there's so much available online via Zoom and webinars and Torah Anytime and WhatsApps. It's actually quite incredible. Avodah, which is our prayer, and though we can't daven together in a minyan, nevertheless, we've got time to daven and to say the words carefully and to have heartfelt connection with our Creator. And Gemilas Chasodim, kindness, which is really the cornerstone of a community. It's the welfare and the socializing and having guests over to our houses and being there for one another. And in a large way, though we don't have a physical place to do that, we certainly do have a spiritual place where we are able to continue the vibrancy of a Jewish and Torah life. And in saying this to a friend of mine, he mentioned to me, he said, it's true we've got time to study Torah, but there's so much anxiety and there's so much unknown, and it's hard to study when there's so much that we don't know. And I think he is correct and he's right. And yet I'm reminded of a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos where the Mishnah tells us, Al Tomer, a person should not say, Lichshe'efne eshne. When I have time, I will learn. Shema lo tipone, because maybe you won't have time. And the simple understanding is that a person shouldn't wait until they have moments and everything is perfectly set up for them in order to learn, because maybe that's not going to be the case and you are not going to have time and therefore you won't study. There's a novel interpretation, however, from the Balei Musa, that they say, Al Tomer, don't say, that when I have time, I'll learn. Shema lo tipone, maybe you're not meant to have time. Maybe the real challenge is not in finding the time to learn, but maybe it is in learning when you have no time, learning when we're under so much pressure. And that's why the Parashas Bamidbar is often the parasha that comes in the week preceding Shavuot, because Bamidbar means as we go into the desert, that's where we receive the Torah. We didn't receive the Torah when everything was perfect. We received the Torah in the desert. We didn't yet have a homeland, where everything was difficult. We had just come out of slavery and out of Egypt. And I think that there's a great and valuable lesson over there, because the lesson is that a person has to know that a study of Torah, our commitment to the Torah, is our ability to connect to the Holy Torah even when everything is not going exactly the way. In fact, it's in those moments when we are pushed, it's in those moments when things are just not perfect, that we have the ability to connect to something so much greater, when we are prepared to extend ourselves, when we are able to expand our minds and to understand that God wishes for our involvement, connection, and commitment, even when things are not great. That's when things are really made. You know, a great marriage is not made when everything is smooth sailing. A great marriage is built upon going through joint struggles and getting through them together. It's the same in any partnership. It's the same in any friendship. It's when you get through difficult times together and you come out the other side that we find that tremendous connection and commitment which has been built in the process. And that, my friends, is the reason why Torah study often requires tremendous commitment. It requires commitment because when we put our efforts and our energies into studying Torah, when we don't have time, when we are anxious, when we don't know what will be, when there's so much uncertainty and anxiety in the future, and yet we study and we connect to the divine in those moments, our connection is so much deeper, it's so much greater. The grandness of our connection and our ability to really feel the warmth and the comfort of living with God and in the divine is just multiplied so many times. Wishing you all a beautiful and wonderful Shavuot.